MS. Robinson, as some of you know, earlier this year. My family and I joined many in Selma for the 50th anniversary of that march. And as we crossed the Edmund Pettus Bridge, I held Ms. Amelia's hand. And I thought about her and all the extraordinary women like her who were really the life force of the movement. Women were the foot soldiers. Women strategized boycotts. Women organized marches. Even if they weren't. Allowed to run the civil rights organizations on paper, behind the scenes they were the thinkers and the doers, making things happen each and every day, doing the work that nobody else wanted to do. They couldn't prophesize from the pulpits, but they led the charge from the pews. They were no strangers to violence. They were on the front lines. So often they were subject to abuse. Dehumanized, but kept on going, holding families together. Mothers were beaten and gassed on Bloody Sunday. Four little girls were murdered in a Birmingham church. Women made the movement happen. Of course, black women have been a part of every great movement. In American history, even if they weren't always given a voice. They helped plan the March on Washington, but were almost entirely absent from the program. And when pressed, male organizers added a tribute highlighting six women, none of them who were asked to make a speech. Daisy Bates introduced her fellow honorees in just 142 words, written by a man. Of course, Marian Anderson and Mahalia Jackson sang. But in a 3-hour program, the men gave women just 142 words. That may sound familiar to some of the women in the room here tonight. The organizers even insisted on 2 separate parades, male leaders marching along the main route on Pennsylvania Avenue. And leaders like Dorothy Height and Rosa Parks relegated to Independence Avenue. America's most important march against segregation had its own version of separation. Black women were central in the fight for women's rights. From suffrage to the feminist movement, and yet despite their leadership, too often they were also marginalized. But they didn't give up, they didn't let up. They were too fierce for that. Black women. Have always understood the words of Pauli Murray that hope is a song in a weary throat. It's thanks to black women that we've come a long way since. The days when a girl like Ruby Bridges couldn't go to school. When a woman like Amelia couldn't cast her vote. When we didn't have a congressional black caucus and its 20 women members. So I'm focusing on women tonight because I want them to know how much we appreciate them. How much we admire them, how much we love them. And I want to talk about what more we have to do to provide full opportunity and equality for our black women and girls in America today. Because all of us are beneficiaries of a long line of strong black women who helped carry this country forward. Their work to expand civil rights opened the doors of opportunity. Not just for African Americans but for all women, for all of us black and white. Latino and Asian, LGBT, and straight, for our first Americans and our newest Americans. And their contributions in every field as scientists and entrepreneurs. Educators, explorers all made us stronger. Of course, they're also a majority of my household. So I care deeply about how they're doing. The good news is, despite structural barriers of race and gender, women and girls of color have made real progress in recent years. The number of black women-owned businesses has skyrocketed. Black women have ascended the ranks of every industry. Teen pregnancy rates among girls of color are down. While high school and four-year college graduation rates are up. That's good news. But there's no denying that black women and girls still face real and persistent challenges. The unemployment rate is over 8% for black women. And they're overrepresented in low-paying jobs, underrepresented in management. They often lack access to economic necessities like paid leave and quality, affordable child care. They often don't get the same quality health care that they need. And have higher rates of certain chronic diseases, although that's starting to change with Obamacare. It's working. By the way, people. Just in case you needed to know. And then there are some of the challenges that are harder to see and harder to talk about, although Michelle. Are outstanding, beautiful First Lady talks about these struggles. Michelle will tell stories about when she was younger. People telling her she shouldn't aspire to go to the very best universities. And she found herself thinking sometimes, well, maybe they're right. Even after she earned 2 degrees from some of the best universities in America. She still faced the doubts that were rooted in deep social prejudice and stereotypes. Worrying whether she was being too assertive, or too angry, or too tall. I like tall women. And those stereotypes and social pressures, they still affect our girls. So we all have to be louder than the voices that are telling our girls they're not good enough, that they've got to look a certain way. Or they've got to act a certain way, or set their goals at a certain level. We've got to affirm their sense of self-worth, and make them feel visible and beautiful, and understood and loved. And I say this as a father who strives to do this at home, but I also say this as a citizen. This is not just about my family or yours, it's about who we are as a people, who we want to be. And how we can make sure that America is fulfilling its promise, because everybody is getting a chance. And everybody is told they're important, and everybody is given opportunity. And we got to do more than just say we care. Or say we put a woman on $10 bill, although that's a good idea. We've got to make sure they're getting some $10 bills, that they're getting paid properly. We've got to let our actions do the talking. It is an affront to the very idea of America when certain segments of our population don't have access to the same opportunities as everybody else. It makes a mockery of our economy when black women make 30 fewer cents for every dollar a white man earns. That adds up to thousands of dollars in missed income that determines whether a family can pay for a home. Or pay for college for their kids, or save for retirement, or give their kids a better life. And that's not just a woman's issue, that's everybody's issue. I want Michelle getting paid at some point. We've got an outstanding former Secretary of State here who is also former First Lady. And I know she can relate to Michelle when she says, "How come you get paid and I don't? How did that work?" When women of color aren't given the opportunity to live up to their God-given potential. We all lose out on their talents. We're not as good a country as we can be. We might miss out on the next Mae Jemison or Ursula Burns or Serena Williams or Michelle Obama. We want everybody to be on the field. We can't afford to leave some folks off the field. So we're going to have to close those economic gaps so that hard-working women of all races and black women in particular can support families, and strengthen communities, and contribute to our country's success. So that's why my administration is investing in job training and apprenticeships, to help everybody. But particularly help more women earn better paying jobs, and particularly in non-traditional careers. It's why we're investing in getting more girls, and particularly girls of color interested in STEM fields, math and science and engineering, and help more of them stay on track in school. It's why we're going to continue to fight to eliminate the pay gap. Equal pay for equal work. It's an all-American idea. It's very simple. And that's why we're going to keep working to raise the minimum wage, because women disproportionately are the ones who are not getting paid what they're worth. That's why we're fighting to expand tax credits that help working parents make ends meet. Closing tax loopholes for folks who don't need tax loopholes to pay for. It's why we're expanding paid leave to employees of federal contractors. And that's why Congress needs to expand paid leave for more hard-working Americans. It's good for our economy. It's the right thing to do. No family should have to choose between taking care of a sick child or losing their job. And just as an aside, what's not the right thing to do, what makes no sense at all? Is Congress threatening to shut down the entire federal government if they can't shut down women's access to Planned Parenthood? That's not a good idea. Congress should be working on investing things that grow our economy and expand opportunity. And not get distracted and inflict the kind of self-inflicted wounds that we've seen before on our economy. So that's some of the things we need to do to help improve the economic standing of all women. To help all families feel more secure in a changing economy. And before I go tonight, I also want to say something about a topic that's been on my mind for a while. Another profound barrier to opportunity in too many communities, and that is our criminal justice system.